As I stepped into the dimly lit archive room, the air thick with dust and the scent of aged paper, I felt an eerie sense of déjà vu. The fluorescent lights above cast an unforgiving glare on the rows of shelving units, where cardboard boxes stacked haphazardly seemed to stretch up to the ceiling like sentinels guarding secrets within. Cale, our team's resident archivist, stood beside me, his eyes fixed intently on a small, leather-bound book in his hands. "This one," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the hum of the lights, "hasn't been opened in decades." I watched as Cale's fingers carefully turned the yellowed pages, releasing whispers of forgotten memories into the air. The silence that followed was oppressive, heavy with unspoken questions. We had been tasked with cataloging and preserving the archive's vast collection of historical documents, but something about this particular room felt off. Perhaps it was the way the shadows seemed to writhe on the walls like living things or the faint scent of decay wafting from the storage units. As I began to assist Cale in his examination of the book, a creeping sense of unease settled over me. It started with small things, a misplaced file, a forgotten protocol, an errant notation in the margin of a document. At first, I wrote these off as simple mistakes or oversights, but soon, the anomalies began to pile up. A shelf would be out of place, only to return to its original position a few minutes later. A box would disappear, only to reappear on a different shelf with its contents rearranged. I started to feel like we were trapped in some sort of twisted temporal loop, reliving moments that had already passed. Cale seemed oblivious to my growing unease, his focus fixed solely on the book and its secrets. As I watched him work, I began to wonder if he was even seeing the same things I was. The hours ticked by, each one stretching out like a twisted rubber band, until we finally finished our task and prepared to leave. But as I reached for the door handle, I felt an inexplicable pull, as if some unseen force was urging me back into the room. "Cale." I called out softly, but he didn't respond. His eyes were closed, his face tilted up towards the lights above, a look of serene concentration on his features. I hesitated for a moment, my heart pounding in my chest, before pushing open the door and stepping back into the fluorescent glare outside. As I turned to glance back at Cale, I saw him still standing there, his book still clutched in his hand, his eyes fixed on some invisible horizon beyond our world. The door creaked shut behind me, plunging the room back into its eerie silence.